Live from Studio 318. I'm Reed Spencer, joined by my co-host Logan Mosier. It is homecoming week,
Yes.
America's greatest homecoming celebration. Are you excited?
Of course. It's the greatest homecoming ever. You get the walk around, you get the parade, get some football, you get to see all the cool stuff on library lawn. It's cool.
Let's keep it with the walk around and the dying of the fountain, and
Usually the game's good.
not talk about really quickly. What is your favorite part about homecoming?
It's probably the walk around.
The walk around is amazing. I know we've got some freshmen here. I'm sure they've been to homecoming before, but it is the best time of the year here in Stillwater.
Yes.
And speaking of dying in the fountain and historic downtown Stillwater for the dying of the fountain, our very own Alexis Winston is with Vice Mayor Pat Darlington and City Councilman Elaine Zanotti. So here's Alexis right now.
Hi guys, we're down here in historic downtown Stillwater as we're kicking off OSU's homecoming with the dying of the fountain here downtown. We're here with the City Councilwoman and Vice Mayor, and we're just going to talk a little bit about what homecoming and the parade means to the city and its residents. If you can just start.
Absolutely. Homecoming is, of course, a great OSU celebration, but it is absolutely a great Stillwater celebration. We hope that everybody at OSU feels that Stillwater is their home. So it's a big deal.
Now, what are some events that go on, I guess, just around the city or maybe downtown as homecoming starts to kick off?
Dying the fountain is one.
We dye the fountain, and then we're very mindful of all the activities that happen on the campus of Oklahoma State University, and so I know our merchants, especially in downtown Stillwater, are encouraged that students come out, they do stuff at campus, and they come downtown and they eat and they shop and they talk about the things that are happening on campus, and so they're really, I think this week is probably one of those weeks that really campus and the city of Stillwater really worked well together to talk about communication about what's happening this week.
Absolutely. You can see the signs in the stores, homecoming specials and all kinds of deals like that.
Yeah, that's awesome. And what are some of you guys' favorite events that happen either in the city or just on campus in general?
Well, I love just driving around the week of homecoming because you can feel the energy in the air. And then, of course, walk around. The parade is always a special thing for me. It has been for years since my kids were little. And I still kind of want to run out and get a piece of candy, but I'm a little too old for that.
No, never. What about you?
I grew up here in Stillwater, and so I grew up going to this homecoming, and so when I moved away, it was always one of those weekends that I made a conscious choice to come back, also being an OSU alum. But now back living here, for me, it's that Friday night walk around. There is to have this many people come and celebrate their alma mater and come back to Stillwater is just a wonderful time. So to me, it's walk around.
Oh, the creativity and ingenuity and the amount of work that the students put into the decorations and the floats is just really mind-boggling.
Well, thank you guys. Again, we're here downtown Stillwater as homecoming kicks off. Hope to see you around. Go Pokes.
Thank you, Alexis. That was great. Downtown Stillwater is fun. Campus is fun.
Yep.
People's families come for this. Like I said, we're going to stay away from the football part. We can get into that Wednesday, but it really is the greatest time in Stillwater, especially in the fall. But we're going to get to, like you said, all the football side of it Wednesday with OSU Insider Robert Allen. But on the college football side of things, it was a crazy weekend.
Yes.
Ohio State got blasted by Purdue. Blasted. Dwayne Haskins threw 73 times, almost threw for 500 yards, the 2 touchdowns and the 1 interception. But DJ Knox for Purdue was amazing. 16 carries, 128 yards, and 3 touchdowns. They were almost the same length, around 40 yards. Did this, even if they say they go win the Big 12 championship, for you, does that loss to Purdue, the way they lost, already eliminate them from the college football playoff?
That's kind of tough. It definitely hurts their chances a lot. And it depends on how they finish out the year. If they go and they win the Big Ten championship in a convincing way, I can't hold it against them too much just because of the rest of their year. Everyone has an off week,
Purdue, though, Logan.
I know.
They started out 0-3. They're known for engineering, not for football.
But since they went 0-3, they're 4-0.
I mean, you look at Georgia's loss to LSU in Death Valley.
Yeah.
Michigan's loss to number 3 Notre Dame. Their losses to Purdue. Luckily enough for the Buckeyes, Urban Meyer is going to forget it by next week.
Right.
He can delete this game from his phone.
Well, he has to ask someone how to do that. He doesn't know how to do that.
But he'll forget nonetheless. He forgot how to coach Saturday night.
Yeah.
It was an amazing story. I don't want to get his name wrong. I believe his name was Trent, the Purdue student that had bone cancer, had to withdraw from school from being so sick, found his way to the game. The whole school rallied around him, and they found a way to win. Now, we'll get to your Michigan Spartans back in the
My Michigan Wolverines.
Wolverines, Spartans, whatever they are. They're not going to go anywhere at the end of the year, so it doesn't really matter.
We'll see.
But let's go down to LSU. LSU
All right.
beat Mississippi State 19-3. Probably the most boring snooze fest SEC reigning. It was a bad game.
Yeah.
Now, LSU has the star linebacker who was called for targeting in the second half.
Yes.
They have a bye week coming up, and then they have Alabama coming in to town. Does that affect ultimately the outcome of the Alabama game? Because I'll be honest with you, Logan, Alabama's going to beat them by 40 points.
Yeah, and I don't really think it matters just because of what you just said. They were going to stomp all over them. Alabama's going to stomp all over LSU no matter what. So, star linebacker or not, it's not going to make much of a difference.
No, and Tua Tagovailoa played one half, and they beat Tennessee 58-21. They were up 21-0 with 8 minutes left in the first quarter, led 28 minutes after the 28-0 after the first quarter. They did allow Tennessee. It was 28-14 at halftime. Alabama doesn't even have to try outside of the first 5 minutes.
Yeah.
They imposed their will. He threw 19-29, 306 yards and 4 touchdowns. He didn't play, but he played one series in the second half.
Yeah.
Threw a touchdown and came out of the game. Now, his health is a bit in question. Do you think his knee is strong enough to make it to January?
Yeah, he only has to play a half every game. I mean,
well, they're going to get in game. I mean, he's going to have to play 4 quarters against Auburn and LSU, and if the SEC championship game, should they make it, I think they will. But his knee, he has, like you said, he hadn't played 4 quarters, and that's why they put him out there against Tennessee, apparently to see what second half adjustments would be like. And then he goes out there, he gets knocked down, and he limps off the field. That's 2 weeks in a row he's had to limp off the field. I would be concerned. It's because if you play LSU and they tackle you, because I'm not saying LSU's dirty, but they're going to go after your knee.
Yeah.
That's what they're going after. So I don't know if he's going to be healthy enough to make it. And Jalen Hurts had to have a procedure on an ankle sprain today.
Yeah, I still think if you can get just chunks of games from either one of those guys, because what was Jalen Hurts before he got benched all time? He lost 2 games, right?
Yeah, 20-something and 2.
Yeah.
One was a national championship game. The other one was to Auburn.
Yeah. Tua puts them way over the top as clearly the best team in the country, maybe one of the best college football teams of all time. They're good enough to win a championship without a great quarterback. We saw that when they had Jalen under center for 2 years. It matters if they can't play at all, but even if they're banged up, they're in no danger.
I would caution that. I think that they are. If they do lose their quarterbacks, I do think they're in danger. They're still far and away better, but Alabama's been better than everyone for the past 6 years, and they've still found ways.
And I'm sure they have some other.
games.
I'm sure they have some other 5-star guy.
Yeah, they're like
in the
Clemson.
bench.
They get to third string, and
it's a 5.
It's a 4 or 5-star.
Yeah.
Exactly. Now, one more game before we get to the Michigan game that I know that you're dying to talk about.
Yeah, of course.
Washington State, probably the best scene from
Yes.
everything this weekend. I know Purdue was great, but from as soon as College Game Day was announced in Pullman, the crowd that they had was amazing. The energy that they had storming the field, carrying their quarterback who has a great mustache off the field. Everything that happened in Pullman was great. So I'm trying to think of their coach's name. It left me at Washington State. At Texas Tech. I just forgot his name. I'm not.
Let me
really
help you
sure.
out. I'm looking it up.
I would know it outside of everything else. I just, since we're on live TV, then I forget.
Right.
That's what happens to me. But anyways, it was a great scene.
Mike
in Pullman.
Leach.
Mike, how did I forget that? By the way, if you haven't read the open records, which we got in the assignment today, we're talking about it. Somebody requested open records in his text to Pac-12 officials. Read the article because it's hilarious.
Is it?
Oh, he calls them out. It's great. It is an amazing article. Mike Leach is one of a kind. He was great at Texas Tech. Then he happened to lock a student in a closet, and that's not a way to go through concussion protocol. But now he's at Washington State. But he is a really good coach. If he ever got a job at a Blue Blood, it would be dangerous. But to the game that I know that you want to talk about, number 6 Michigan went to East Lansing, the short 45-minute bus ride. The number 24 Spartans, their second biggest rival.
Yep.
They hate each other.
Yes.
So I have a few questions here. We'll go through. Obviously, there's a long history, but Michigan is warming up on the field in pre-games, and the Spartans take their 100-yard walk. They don't do it with their helmets on, and they
Yeah.
usually do it 15 minutes after when they did. But they go through, they shove the Michigan linebacker, who was at midfield. He goes on the logo and kicks in, which I'm not a fan of. I don't think he should have responded that way. And then after the game, they're jumping on the logo. They beat them 21-7. They're jumping on the logo. The other Michigan State linebacker, Chase, I'm forgetting all the names today. He's on Twitter telling reporters to hold this L. He wants to apologize for absolutely nothing. Michigan is arrogant. They are rude. They are somewhat fun to watch. But this arrogance makes me want to watch Michigan even more than the history of Michigan does. I want to see them win out now.
Yeah.
I love that cockiness that I'm not sure that they've earned. But after the game, Jim Harbaugh says Mark D'Antoni was 5 yards behind it, smiling, and he called it Bush League. Mark D'Antoni, the reporter asked him, and he very sternly says, well, that's BS. Well, it wasn't, because what did we talk about last week with Manny Machado? If you're going to cheat, I'm not saying you should. If you're going to do something that stupid, at least try and hide it because there's cameras everywhere.
Right.
What did Mark D'Antoni think? That's a dumb. Don't say stuff like that when you know. And he even goes say, well, just look at the tape. Fox has it. We did. You were 5 yards behind, and you were smiling. Now, Jim Harbaugh's right. That's Bush League. But having your veteran linebacker kicking up the logo at midfield is Bush League, and jumping on their logo. That's like Baker Mayfield sticking the flag in Ohio State. It's immature and it's Bush League.
It's fun to watch.
It is fun to watch, but I would caution you to be doing that stuff because you still have Penn State and Ohio State teams that you've struggled to beat.
Yes, but what did I tell you at the beginning of the year?
You tell me a lot of things.
I told you they were going to beat Michigan State, and they're going to beat Ohio State.
Logan, Michigan State barely beat Utah State. Utah State. Half the people on this crew have never heard of that school. I don't know where it's at.
They beat Penn State.
Penn State almost lost to App State. The Big Ten is a joke.
Then okay, Michigan's going to handle Penn State, and Michigan and Ohio State's going to end. It's going to be the last game of the year, and it's going to be the Big Ten championship game. I'm serious.
Michigan and Wisconsin in the Big 12 championship.
Ohio State. Sorry.
Well, they won't be able to play in the Big Ten championship game. They'll play in the horseshoe at the end of the season.
And Michigan's going to win.
And Wisconsin's with, a bunch of FCS schools in Nebraska.
Yeah.
In Minnesota. Come on. Wisconsin is going to will their way to Indianapolis, and I don't think they could beat any team in the Michigan-Ohio State division. I think it's the Legends division or whatever now.
Yeah.
I mean, the champion's going to come out of that division, but I don't think that Michigan goes to Ohio State.
You don't think so?
Just because they beat a down-and-out Michigan State team 21-7.
Well, I mean, you don't think Ohio State? They just lost to Purdue. Talk about how bad that
they
loss
lost
to
to Virginia
was.
Tech the year they won the national championship game.
Did they lose that bad?
They lost to OU really bad last year. They still found.
But OU was a playoff team last year. Purdue's not a playoff team.
No, and that was a bad loss. But as much as I dislike Urban Meyer and as much as I discredit his morals, he's a really good football coach. He's probably top 2 or 3.
Maybe he'll forget how to coach again.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll accidentally delete his playbook or something.
By the way, not kind of off topic, but Urban Meyer seen after the game eating a Papa John's pizza. I mean,
it's bad.
Does Ohio State just They
don't live in America. They don't live on Earth.
Put a Pizza Hut box in front of them. They're like, don't be doing this. They don't think. Probably the same person that let Tom Rinaldi rip him to shreds. But
yeah.
Anyways, we will have to take a quick break. We will be right back to talk all the NFL stuff. A very interesting day yesterday for the National Football League. We'll be right back on One-on-One, Ocean Student Radio, KXOI, Sunlink, Channel 112.
One-on-One is brought to you by Tinker Federal Credit Union. Visit Facebook.com/TinkerFCU. While you're there for your family, we're there for you. Tinker Federal Credit Union. And OSU Communications. Not sure where to park? OSU Communications has got you covered with parking tips and bus schedule information. We'll be right back.
Determining your future by selecting a major can be difficult.
It's okay to be undecided.
Connect with the College of Arts and Sciences, where your options are endless.
Where you can uncover your passions and achieve your goals.
Express your creativity by exploring a career in the visual and performing arts.
Investigate new discoveries to make the world a better place with a career in science.
Advance knowledge, communicate progress, and contribute to a healthier planet with a career rooted in the social sciences.
Discover your career by looking at the world from different perspectives through the humanities.
Realize a better tomorrow through problem solving and mining data that can change lives.
Cash for Crazy to succeed through internships, study abroad, student-guided research projects, and service activities.
With 109 majors, 52 minors, and 24 departments, the only thing missing is you. College of Arts and Sciences.
Connect.
Achieve. Succeed.
When you have a team of physicians and nurses that really truly care about their patients, that translates into patient care.
It's a small practice, it's a small town. Everybody really takes that time to put the patient first.
Everybody cares what's happening to me and that I'm making progress and I'm gaining my freedom back and my mobility back. This patient is saying thank you.
This spring, I invite you to shop in downtown Stillwater. Downtown Stillwater is home to locally owned shops, boutiques, eateries, and dependable professionals that you can trust. Find the perfect gift for your graduate, have a delicious meal with mom, or just stop in to enjoy great spring savings. By creating a demand for local goods and services, you can ensure a place for the local businesses that help give our community character and keep it unique. On behalf of Downtown Stillwater, thank you for shopping local.
Welcome back to One on One on OSU Student Radio, KXUI Sunlink Channel 112. We are live from Studio 318, homecoming week here in Stillwater, America. I'm Reed Spencer, joined by my co-host Logan Mosher. It's an interesting day in the NFL yesterday. A ton of storylines. We could probably do the entire show on Week 7 of the National Football League. I don't know what kind of world we're living in. Purdue beats Ohio State. The Dodgers and Red Sox in the World Series.
Blake Bortles gets benched.
Well, that's a world I can understand. But Justin Tucker misses an extra point.
Yeah.
He's now 255 out of 256, but we'll get to that later. I want to start with Jacksonville. Houston goes down to Jacksonville. Deshaun Watson has to ride on a bus because
bruised ribs
if he can't get on a plane,
should not play football.
Probably shouldn't be playing football, but he did. He had a decent game. They beat the Jaguars 20-7. Andre Hal came back after being diagnosed with cancer, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, fought his way back. An incredible story there. Back on the field, like I said, Deshaun Watson had to ride a bus, a
12-hour bus ride.
Yeah, 12-hour. Crazy. But the story is with the Jacksonville Jaguars. As incredible as the Texans storylines are, the storylines that we want to talk about are the Jacksonville Jaguars. Blake Bortles gets benched.
Yep.
They kick reporters out of the locker room after the game because of a disagreement between players. Where are the Jaguars at?
In a mess. You know, everyone kind of thought they were next after last year, after they went to the championship game. They're like, they're next. They're going to take down the Patriots and all that. And they're a mess. I think I saw a stat. They've been outscored like 50-something to 8 or 40-something to 8 in the last 3 games or something like that. Their elite defense has disappeared. Jalen Ramsey himself has disappeared.
He got
destroyed.
dominated yesterday.
Yeah. DeAndre Hopkins had a great day yesterday, as you can see right there. And it's Blake Bortles is the shocker. Blake Bortles is not an elite quarterback in the National Football League. He put together enough games where he was decent, but he's kind of come back down to earth in almost the opposite way. He's had a terrible last couple weeks, and so bad this week he got benched.
Yeah.
That's not good.
This is a mixture between thinking they beat the Patriots in week 2 and everyone we knew it on the show. The Patriots struggle all the time. They will be back.
Yeah.
The Jaguars, on the other hand, they have this arrogance of making it to the AFC title game, being that close to the Patriots and then beating the Patriots. Jalen Ramsey, this is what you get for opening your mouth, because now you're getting everyone's best.
Yeah.
And apparently you can't handle everyone's best because he's been dominated, especially yesterday. Jalen Ramsey's one of the top cornerbacks in this league. But when you talk trash like that, you call everyone out but your own quarterback, who's one of the worst in the league, that's what you get. You get beat by the subpar Houston Texans.
Yeah, another team that has had their own share of struggles, who we all thought were going to be a lot better, I think, at the beginning of the year. They've kind of had their struggles. But let me ask you something. You're the NFL guy on the show. You're the NFL expert. I'm gonna give you the title.
Yeah, we like to throw titles
Yeah.
around here. I'll accept it. Not sure I'm worthy, but I'll accept it.
So who, if the Jaguars are gonna go shop for a quarterback, who do they go after?
Without considering who should they go get or who can they get?
Who should they go get?
Derek Carr.
Oakland is shopping everyone, it seems.
Oakland is shopping everyone. I know a lot of people have said Eli Manning. That guy.
Oh my gosh.
Just too old. People want him to rekindle with that with that defense. Reuniting with Tom Coughlin down in Jacksonville, it could work. They need a long-term fix, but unfortunately they can't go get anyone because of the deal they made with Blake Bortles.
Right.
Blake Bortles is just going to sit there and collect his check. I don't know Blake Bortles, but from everything we've seen, I really don't think he cares to start. As long as he's collecting the check, he's fine.
And I mean, he's going to get paid, which can't blame a guy for that. You can only blame the organization for paying a guy like that. But have you seen the stuff saying they should go get Tyrod Taylor from Cleveland?
I mean, I get it, but he's not a long-term fix.
Right.
He's Blake Bortles. I mean, he couldn't start over Baker Mayfield, who's now 1-3 as a starter. You need a long-term fix, and I think Derek Carr, an organization, could be a long-term fix, and I think that the Raiders are shopping absolutely everyone. They traded Amari Cooper today to the Dallas Cowboys for a first-round pick.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to get your thoughts on that too. Is that did the Raiders get equal value for Amari Cooper?
I think they got more than he's worth.
Yeah.
I don't think he's worth a first-round pick.
Okay.
Can Dak get him the ball? I mean, Dak has struggled throwing the ball. I think Amari Cooper's got a lot of talent, but he had one good year in Oakland.
I think he had he had 2 seasons, I think, with 1,000+ receiving yards.
I mean,
something like that.
He's the best wide receiver they have now, but if I was Dallas, I probably wouldn't have given up a first-round pick for him. But, they did what they did. They had to get better at that position, and they did. The Broncos, by the way, are looking to trade Demaryius Thomas.
No.
He is looking to be traded. Patrick Peterson asked for a trade in Arizona.
Yes.
Their head coach Wilks said we're keeping him. He's not going anywhere. But like we're seeing with Jimmy Butler, when guys ask to be traded, it's probably best that you find a way out and find it quickly. But the Jaguars are going to London next week to face.
They need that.
They might just want to stay.
Yeah.
To face the Philadelphia Eagles, the Super Bowl champions, who are also struggling. They fall to 3-4 just like the Jaguars. They lost to the Panthers 21-17 yesterday.
That was a good game.
A 17-point lead in the fourth quarter. Not a good look for the Super Bowl champions. Malcolm Jenkins versus Eric Reid before the coin toss. We're not going to get political, but it goes all the way back, for the Colin Kaepernick stuff and all that. I'm the Players Coalition. I'm not well versed on everything with that, but Eric Reid needs to not do that before the game.
Yeah.
Stay on the sideline. And this is why people don't want them. This is why the Colin Kaepernicks are touting collusion. That right there. That's why the NFL doesn't want to mess with you, because they don't care. They don't care about that. They want to win. They don't want that before the coin toss. They don't want that distraction, and that's exactly what Eric Reid brings. He's a really good football player that deserves to have a job. But you have to understand, you have a platform and you have every right to use it. But you can't be doing stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, at least he backed it up. At least, they said whatever they said, and he backed it up on the field. And he just explained it in the postgame. He didn't make a big deal about it. He just kind of explained his feelings on it. I mean, I understand what you're saying. People don't want the distraction, but it's hard to turn any which way in sports and not see athletes speaking out. And they have every right to. They have the platform. They have a voice. They're just like any other person.
Yeah, but don't do it before the coin toss.
Yeah.
I have no problem with you doing it. I don't care if you speak out at practice to the media, after the game to the media, but not before the coin toss. You have to have enough self-control, and that's why they don't want them, because you're getting stuff like that. They have every right to have a job.
Yes.
I'm not saying anything like that, but you have to have self-control in moments like that, not to do it before the coin toss. So Eric Reid is a really good player.
Yeah.
He played really well yesterday, but he can't be doing that. And he's not shown signs of that outside of his beef with Malcolm Jenkins.
And I think that's such a unique situation with what obviously the feud he has with Malcolm Jenkins. So I don't think you're going to see that every week. I think this was a one-time thing. He got it off his chest, and I'm sure the coaches were like, "Hey,
don't do that.
No, don't do that anymore." And I think that's the last we're going to see of that. in a game situation from Eric Reed. But like you said, he had a great game. That was a good game to watch. That might have been, besides your Chiefs, that might have been the best game to watch on Sunday.
We're going to get to the Chiefs, Logan,
Okay.
if we have enough time. The Patriots beat the Bears 38-31.
I thought they had the Hail Mary.
Mitch Trubisky was 1 yard closer.
I thought they had it.
Kevin White makes a catch. Josh Gordon and everyone. Josh Gordon's on defense trying to prevent it. They push him outside the 1 yard to going into overtime. Of course, overtime's not guaranteed with the way people were kicking yesterday, but it was very close. They almost made it in overtime. But the Patriots do what the Patriots do.
Right.
And they won. They beat the Bears. Now they moved to 5-2. 1 game behind the Chiefs still. But even though they beat the Chiefs. But, you know, the Patriots are back to their winning ways.
Yeah.
They're out of September. You know,
they're fine.
It is what everyone that's watched football the last 15 years knew this was going to happen. The Browns, like I said, Baker falls to 1-3. Yep. It's the Browns' 4th overtime game. The Bucs missed a short field goal earlier in the game, but come back and kick a 59-yard field goal to win the game. But the Bucs, I mean, now Hugh Jackson's thinking about taking play calling abilities away from Todd Haley.
The Browns should think about taking coaching duties away from Hugh Jackson.
I mean, this is they've been more competitive and they're starting to turn a corner, but they are still incompetent. They're clueless on how to finish out games, win games. They have to fire Hugh Jackson. They have to.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy's bad, very bad. And I don't think it's Todd Haley's play calling. No. It's Hugh Jackson. They got to find ways to win more of these games. They're now 1-2-1 in overtime. I don't even know what their record is.
2-4-1.
That's not good enough to keep his job, especially after going 1-31.
Yeah.
The Saints, they're going for it on 4th down. They're doing everything to beat the best scoring defense in the league against the best scoring offense, the Saints versus the Ravens. The Saints came back. They were down in the 4th quarter, 17-7.
Yep.
They came back. They're ahead, 24-17. And then the Ravens score with basically no time left to, you know, all I have to do is kick an extra point and we're going to overtime. Justin Tucker had made 255 extra points. He's the most accurate field goal kicker in the Super Bowl era. He missed an extra point to lose the game 24-23.
His face after he missed that kick was
brutal.
It was pure shock. He was like, huh?
And you can't, I mean, I know
it felt bad, but it was so funny.
Yeah,
it was so funny to see his face.
Fans and they're going to be critical of him, but he's been lights out.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you could say he lost the game, but you can't pin that on Justin Tucker. I mean, if he was...
it's not like he's Mason Crosby.
Ooh, that's almost offensive.
Yeah.
Ugh. But on to my Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, I'm glad we had time for this.
The gold jacket, I don't know if it's done yet. I don't know if they've got his ring size. Patrick Mahomes is everything that I hoped he would be. 28-39, 358 yards, and the 4 touchdowns. And Tyreek Hill even dropped one.
Yeah.
Oh, Kareem Hunt hurdling people. 15 carries, 86 yards, and a touchdown, and 2 touchdowns through the air. Oh my, they're so fun to watch. They are really good Bengals defense. Carlos Dunlap. Vontaze Burfict was a little dirty last night, but the Chiefs took him out. I wouldn't say take him out. He got hurt. I don't think it was because of the Chiefs.
Yeah.
It was a football injury. But they effectively took him out of the game. That's a heck of a way to bounce back after losing on a last-second field goal to the Patriots.
For sure. And, you know, their defense has actually been
stepped up
Yeah,
Sunday.
they've taken a step. They're obviously not good, but they're definitely not the worst in the NFL anymore. So it's a big plus for your Chiefs. I think you're going to have a great year, Reed.
Well,
I think you're going to have a great year.
6-1, we are rivals again this week.
Yes.
The Broncos are coming to Arrowhead at noon on Sunday. I know we don't have a show Friday. We've got some people taking over for us really quickly. Who do you think is going to win that game in Arrowhead?
Kansas City.
So
we're coming for you, Justin. We're going to lose out. We're going to get Justin Herbert. It's going to be great.
I don't know. Tough division game. I'm going to take the Broncos.
Okay.
Just because it's tradition. We have to get out of here before we get into our NBA talk, which I know you're excited for. Some fun storylines. We're not going to fight each other as long as you don't spit on me. I won't throw a punch. We'll be right back on One-on-One. Ocean Student Radio, KXUI, Suddenlink Channel 112.
One-on-One is brought to you by Oklahoma Christian University. Get your master's degree in accounting, business administration, theology, engineering, computer science, or cybersecurity from Oklahoma Christian University. Apply at oc.edu/grad. Oklahoma University is committed to offering the best graduate school experience we possibly can. Come learn and grow with us. And The Table. Stop by The Table on Thursdays at 8 p.m. to join their Bible study. Shoot Rachel an email at rachel@thetableosu.com for more information. We'll be right back.
In my mind, I was never going to walk right again. Before we were through, we had walked 23 steps. And that was my first steps of freedom. This patient is saying thank you.
Welcome back to One-on-One on OSU Student Radio KXUI Sunlink Channel 112, live from Studio 318. It is One-on-One. I'm Reed Spencer, joined by my co-host Logan Mosher. It is homecoming week, but we're going to talk a little bit of basketball. I just want to start off by saying one thing. Brandon Ingram deserves to get knocked out for that. You can't come in with cheap shots like that. If you're going to do that, if you're going to throw punches, be a man and be ready to stand in there and take it. He ran in there and cheap shotted somebody. I think that's at least a 15-game suspension.
Well, he didn't quite get that.
He should have.
No one got anything close to what they should have got. They all should have got more than what they got. But
so we'll go through the suspensions really quick.
Okay.
Rockets and Lakers, as everyone saw, started with Chris Paul and Rondo, who have hated each other for a long time. They got threw some punches. Brandon Ingram came in through that cheap shot. Ingram 4 games, Rondo 3 games, and Chris Paul 2-game suspension. What do you think they should have got?
I think they all should have got a minimum of somewhere between 5 to 10.
Yeah. I think Brandon Ingram should have got the most because, I mean, you got to get suspended for throwing punches, but to come in there, at least throw punches when they can see you.
Yeah.
Don't come in there and throw a shot like that. And I really don't think that Brandon Ingram would have done that if he wasn't playing on a team with LeBron James. I think that was, he's been in the league a couple years now, but I think that was a young guy thinking that he's on a team with LeBron and Rondo now, and he can almost get away with that stuff, trying to make himself look a little bit of like a tough guy. Brandon, I mean, have you seen Brandon Ingram?
It's very thin. Probably not a lot of power in that punch.
No, but I mean, he can't come in throwing cheap shots like that. Now, what did we talk about earlier with Mike D'Antoni at Michigan State saying he didn't do something when the tape clearly says otherwise? Rondo saying I didn't spit. When you can see spit coming out of his mouth.
The internet is undefeated. Someone had such a good video of that, and there were camera angles from everywhere. The NBA should be happy that the internet is a thing, because like you said, in the video that everyone had seen for a couple days, you really couldn't tell if he'd spit. But then someone released, like, probably one of those reporters down there had one of the courtside views, and you could clearly see that he spit on him.
Yeah, and then shoving Harden before that and getting in the face of a ref. That's a game right there. I mean, Brandon Ingram, we can't be doing this. Brandon Ingram has got to learn. If you're going to fight a guy, you need to stand face-to-face and be ready to go.
I'm sure LeBron had a long talk with all those guys.
Now, here's an argument which I think is stupid, but it's been circulating sports talk shows today. Was LeBron wrong for holding Chris Paul back and going off with Chris Paul?
You gotta just hold whoever you're closest to. That's who you hold back. It's like at that point it doesn't really matter who's on your team or who's in the fight or whatever. You gotta break everyone up. You gotta make sure it stops, and then you can go to your team and cool them down. It does not matter who you hold back.
And he's friends with
I was
Chris
about to say,
Paul.
they're friends.
The banana boat, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought that argument was just dumb.
Yeah.
Listen, everyone, especially, on the ESPNs and the Fox Sports, well, LeBron needs to stick with his teammates. That's what he needs to go. Stop. Everyone wants to be LeBron's teammate, okay?
Yeah.
Everyone is okay with LeBron. LeBron can do what he wants, and they're still going to be loyal to him. I don't buy that argument whatsoever.
Yeah.
But Rondo's always been a little dirty.
He's an agitator.
Chris Paul
also a little dirty.
I love the when they slow down videos, because when it first happened, everyone's like, "Oh, Rondo got a good shot on Chris Paul," which he did, but Chris Paul hit him back with a combo.
Yeah.
He got him just as good that you couldn't see in real time. But I love these fights.
Yeah.
I love these fights, but I do not like cheap shots, and that's what Brandon Ingram did. A fake tough guy who, if LeBron wasn't on his team, would have never done this. He needs to learn his lesson. I don't think 4 games is enough. I think it should have been 15. Send a message if you're the league, not 4.
There's also a theory circulating Twitter that it was so light because Chris Paul's the president of the Players Association, and you can't be giving guys on LeBron's team too many games off because it could be bad.
Well,
I'm not saying I buy into that. I'm just saying that's out there.
Well, yeah, I mean, that probably takes a role in it, but Chris Paul isn't a guy who gets in a ton of these scuffles. Rondo, on the other hand, is, and Rondo started it.
Yeah.
Rondo absolutely deserved to be punched.
There's a good video on YouTube you can find, and it kind of goes through the whole game, and it's like, it leads to the build-up, all the dirty, like the little cheap stuff that everyone does during the game and how the refs were calling the game. It's an entertaining watch. It's set to Kung Fu Fighting, so if you want a good laugh, I would recommend finding. I can't remember what the video is called, right?
So we are in agreement that the suspensions were not enough.
Yeah.
We agree on something.
We do.
I like it. It's nice change of pace around here. And now we'll get to Trae Young. Dropped 35 points, 11 assists, and a 133-111 win over Cleveland, I might add. Not a very good Cleveland team. Listen, everyone wants to anoint Trae Young the next Steph Curry. I don't like Trae Young, and I think it's clear why. He went to that school down south that no one has any respect for. That's why I don't like Trae Young. I think he was overhyped, his teammates didn't like him, and he choked when it was the most important. They sucked down the stretch in Norman last year.
They sucked in 2018. They're still going to suck in 2018, just the second half. But, yeah.
Is Trae Young going to be able to score 35 points like this even 5 more times this year?
Yeah, just because the Hawks team's that bad, and I think he'll get that many opportunities to put up a lot of shots.
Do you think he has all-star potential in this league?
That's a good question. If the East stays as bad as it is, yeah.
Oh,
I do.
Man, if Trae Young's an all-star.
I think he has the potential. He's a really good – I told you beginning of the year, he's a really good playmaker. He showed that off last night with the 11 assists. I think he's going to be able to average close to double-digit assists his rookie year. I think, as much as I hate to say it, I think he will be an all-star someday.
And we're back to disagreeing.
Yeah.
And just like that, it's gone.
I know.
Just like that, it's gone. He did have a really good game, but there's times where it's either makes SportsCenter because it's so bad,
right,
or makes SportsCenter because it's so good.
Right.
And he made it the other night because it was so good. The Hawks aren't making the playoffs, though. They're going to be awful. Your winless teams, Logan.
Yeah.
There is the Wizards, the Bulls, the Cavs, the Lakers, and the Thunder.
Oklahoma City Thunder.
What is wrong with your Oklahoma City Thunder? Russ has only been back for 1. He was back last night.
That's the main thing.
In a loss.
Yeah.
But 0-3. Now, it's an 82-game season. I'm not wanting you to press the panic button just yet. It is an 82-game season. It is October.
Yeah.
But 0-3 is not where you want to start if you're the Oklahoma City Thunder.
It's the first time they started 0-3 since they moved to Oklahoma City, actually.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. But, I mean, Russ has been back for 1 game. They're still missing Roberson, I think. They're trying to incorporate Noel and Schroeder. I'm not saying that's justification for losing to the Kings and letting Iman Shumpert cook you for 20-something points like that. But
Iman Shumpert, Logan.
I know. But I think the what was the best part about the Thunder last year? It was their defense. And I know they had Melo, but they were a really good defensive team.
You didn't give me time to answer. I was going to say the epic playoff collapse.
Well, I knew you were. That's why I didn't give you enough time. But
who'd you say they were missing?
Andre Roberson.
Oh, I still think they're missing Kevin Durant.
Well, yeah, that's duh. Yeah, I bet they wish they could have him back. But they're missing just the chemistry. And I'm not saying it's the main problem is the chemistry, but Russ is going to get back into game shape.
I know what the main problem is, and they just showed it on TV.
Say it.
You know what I'm about to say?
Yeah, I want you to say it.
Billy Donovan.
Yeah.
It's just not. He's not getting them to the promised land. It's
Yeah.
not going to happen with Billy Donovan. Go take Florida to Final Fours again. I just don't think I don't think the players believe in him. I don't think he's a leader to that team. I think it's Russell Westbrook who's their fearless leader.
Yeah.
I mean, the Warriors are Steph's team.
Yes.
But Steve Kerr is the final say at Golden State. I don't think that Billy Donovan's the final say in Oklahoma City.
I agree with you. And another thing that is totally plaguing the Thunder is their three-point shooting. It's been their Achilles heel for years, for a long time. I can't let me find the stat off the top of my head, but it's bad. They are I think they are a 20-some or 30-some% three-point shooting team right now. It is bad. And that you can't win in this league if you don't have shooting.
Yeah.
And, adding Roberson back isn't going to fix that. Adding Westbrook back is not going to fix your shooting. Those guys are terrible three-point shooters.
It's about 13 for 100 between those two guys.
Yeah, not great three-point shooters. And, I mean, Paul George and Dennis Schroeder can't be all of your shooting.
Yeah, and I don't know about Schroeder, but I'm pretty convinced that Paul George is scared of the shot. He's scared to take that one shot, which is good because Russell Westbrook demands that shot. But you need somebody that can make it. And Russell Westbrook's, I think he's a top 3 or 4 player in the NBA. They're going to get better. Like I said, we can't be sitting here, pressing the panic button.
Yeah.
We're 3 games in, 2 of them without Russell Westbrook. They're going to be just fine. They're going to make the playoffs. I wouldn't worry too much, but not the start you're looking for as a Thunder fan. Now, Jimmy Butler is loving the booze. Then they're chanting MVP.
Yeah.
I don't. What do we learn the first weekend? I know I will be perfectly fine if you tell me that we learned that the Toronto Raptors are maybe better than they were last year. I'll be perfectly fine if you say that.
Yeah, I think we learned that adding Kawhi Leonard and Danny Green makes your team a lot better, even if you gave up DeMar DeRozan.
Yeah.
Kawhi Leonard's just that kind of guy. I think we've learned Denver's a really good team. Denver's one of the only undefeated teams left. They beat the Warriors on a close game last night.
I thought that was a foul, by the way.
But you can't count on that at the end of games.
No.
But
I think Steph should have taken the shot.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's like we just said with the Thunder. It's an 82-game season.
Right. And like I said, I think I kind of underrated Denver going into the season. I can't remember exactly where I said they would finish, but okay, sorry. A stat from the Thunder: they are 26 for 109 from 3 so far this season. That is 23.9%. That's not good. I had to add that. Sorry.
I just heard somebody up in the booth.
Yeah, someone upstairs is not happy about that. But yeah, I think Denver's a really good team. Like I said, I think Kawhi makes Toronto a lot better. What else? I'm trying to think of what else I've learned. What have you learned?
That every time we get high on anything New York, they fall flat on their face. That's what I learned about the New York. Of course, I kind of expected it with the New York Knicks. I'm kind of with you. The Raptors.
The Raptors are good.
Are really good.
I think the Bucks are really good. I think we've learned that.
Yeah, and I'm not going to say because it would get laughed at, and I don't believe it. But the shift in the West and how powerful they are is slowly trickling. Now, it's never going to be completely even.
Yeah.
But you can see LeBron was the only star in the East for so long. And now you have like 4 All-Stars in Boston. Yeah. You have Kawhi in Toronto. You have Philadelphia. It's not the West, and it will take a ton to get them there.
Yeah.
But the power shift is slowly sliding back towards the East side.
If you look at the future, I can see what you're talking about. Young guys in Philadelphia. Hopefully Kawhi stays in Toronto if they want to stay relevant, and all the young guys in Boston, like you said. I can see where you're going with that. I don't necessarily agree with that, but I can see where you're going.
I don't mean it as it's anywhere close to even, but it was way up here for the West.
Yeah.
And the East was down here, and now it's like right here. Like
Yeah.
it's slowly moved, but you have to acknowledge that it has moved.
Yeah. Has your prediction for a champion been changed, or is it still Golden State?
It's still Golden
Okay.
State.
I had to
It's
make sure.
It's still, whoa, it is so much Golden State.
Yeah.
The Pelicans are going to be really good as well.
They're going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, I mean, 110 points a game. By the way, the Pelicans are scoring 140 per game.
Oh, my
And
gosh.
also allowing 120.
Yeah.
But we have to take a quick break before we get back and break down the World Series between the Los Angeles Dodgers and Jason Clicchio's favorite team, the Boston Red Sox. We'll be right back on 101 OSU Student Radio KXUI, Sunlink Channel 112.
One-on-One is brought to you by
It's like Beetlejuice.
Oklahoma Air National Guard.
Yep.
Contact
Oh, there
Oklahoma
you-
Air
that is
National
that.
Guard at 800-GO-TO-ANG or visit their website at goang.com/OK for more information about how to get 100% college tuition. And Unitarian Universalist Church. If you're looking for a church home, visit Unitarian Universalist Church of Stillwater, located at 320 South Stallard Street. They offer an alternative spiritual path and welcome all races, religions, and beliefs. They're also LGBTQ friendly. Services every Sunday at 10:30. We'll be right back.
Stillwater Medical Center now offers a convenient way to view your health information online. It's secure, easy, and free. Our hospital and clinic patient portals allow you to view results and reports, medications and allergies, track visit histories, view upcoming appointment information, and see your statements. To enroll, go to stillwatermedical.com and click on the patient portal link near the top right of the page. If you have questions, please feel free to call 405-533-6010.
Welcome back to One-on-One on OSU Student Radio KXUI, Sunlink Channel 112, live from Studio 318 here on Monday of America's Greatest Homecoming Celebration. I am Reed Spencer, joined by my co-host Logan Mosier, as always. Probably our least sport we talk about is Major League Baseball, and after next week, we're not going to talk about it until
spring.
Probably not even then, because it's really only interesting during the playoffs, and I think the numbers reflect that. But we will give America's pastime a little bit of airtime here on One-on-One because it is the World Series. The first pitch is tomorrow. The Dodgers have not named a pitcher. I would imagine is going to be Clayton Kershaw.
That'd be a safe bet.
Even though he pitched the 9th inning of Game 7 of the NLCS, one inning, I think.
Yeah.
3 days rest, I think he will be okay. But that would make it Chris Sale versus Kershaw should the Dodgers go that way. The 114th World Series, the Red Sox open up at -135. The Dodgers are looking for their first title in 3 years.
Yeah.
The Red Sox are looking for their fourth since 2004, the great 3-1 comeback and the 3-0 comeback. And
the Yankees are so lucky that Twitter was not a thing.
And they still get burned for it.
I know, but just imagine.
The Yankees were the original. They didn't, not just 3-1. The Warriors blew a 3-1 lead. The Yankees blew a 3-0 lead to a team who hadn't won a title in 100 years.
Yeah.
and they
That's
did
bad.
it. They did it. Only the New York Yankees, man.
Yeah.
And I was all in on
I
I
can't
like the
believe it.
Yankees more than most people, but in the audio booth is Mr. Colicchio, who we like to give a hard time to. He's the world's biggest Dodger fan this week.
Oh, yeah.
The huge Dodger
Oh,
fan. Yeah. I am too, because I don't like the Red Sox. I don't really like Boston. That's just, the last 25 years in Boston in general has been dominant in sports championships. So I don't like Boston. I'm not a huge Dodger fan, but I'm all in this week. Who do you have winning this? Should it go 7 games? Who's going to win this series?
I hate to say it, but I think the Red Sox. I think the Red Sox. I wish that was on camera, but I think the Red Sox. If they were good enough to beat the Astros, I think they're plenty good enough to beat the Dodgers. And I don't like to say that just for our friend Colicchio back there, but I tried to think of a way to pick against them, but I can't. David Price shook whatever curse he had in the postseason.
Okay, well, listen, he pitched 2 good games in the ALCS, got his first postseason win, but at the end of the day, he's still 1-10.
Yeah.
So history and statistics, I mean, he could win 9 straight games and still be 500 in the playoffs. That's how bad David Price has been. The ALCS wasn't as big for him, but this is the World Series. The last time that the Dodgers and Red Sox met in the World Series was 1916. The Dodgers were in Brooklyn. The Red Sox were known as the Robins. Babe Ruth threw a 14-inning complete Game 2, going on to pitch 29 scoreless World Series inning. And the Dodgers have not played in Fenway in October because when they played, the Red Sox, Fenway was there, but they weren't playing in Fenway.
Yeah.
They were playing in a smaller venue. So that's a ton of history between the Dodgers and the Red Sox, but it almost feels right because you're talking 2 historic franchises.
Yeah.
The Red Sox won 108 games. They're trying to be the first team to be that successful in the regular season to win a championship since the 98 Yankees. And I don't think the Red Sox are going to get it done. I really don't. And maybe I'm jinxing them because I picked
against them every time.
Picked against them to lose. I get he pitched well in the ALCS, but David Price is a joke in the playoffs.
But you also have to look at the rest of their lineup.
Well, Chris Sale's, his belly button ring's going to get inflamed again. The Red Sox, if somebody's going to have belly button rings in Major League Baseball, it's going to be the Red Sox. I think that was a joke, but, Chris Sale, his health, even though he's good to go in Game 1, it's kind of shaky on what his health could be throughout the series.
Right. And, they even kind of figured out a bullpen.
Yeah.
At the end of that ALCS, they kind of figured out they got some guys to give them good innings, and whenever they get their bats out, they're scary. I know the Yankees hit a lot of home runs, and so did the Dodgers. I think they finished second. I know they led their league, and I think they finished second behind the Yankees in Major League Baseball. But Boston just knows how to get on base and get runs in.
Yeah, the Red Sox, they were the best team for 162, and they've been arguably had a tougher stretch than the Dodgers, beating a 100-win Yankees team and obviously a defending world champion Astros team. It just doesn't feel like the Red Sox here. When you combine all these things, the Dodgers still had to win a wild card game.
Yes.
They still had, to win their LCS and the LDS. I think the Brewers were a really good team, and they found a way to beat them in 7. They fought a little bit harder than the Red Sox have through the playoffs.
Yeah.
I think the Dodgers bats in Fenway, and when you almost take a batter away from the Red Sox when you start talking about pitchers batting when they go to LA because they don't bat throughout the year. So I always think that the World Series is always in the NL's favor.
Yeah, but when was the last time the NL won?
Let's see, the Astros last year and the Cubs the year before that.
Okay.
NL.
Yeah.
And they beat the Indians in 7.
And
then it was the Royals beat the Mets for that, and the Giants won 3 out of 6 before that. And the Cardinals has had success. I'm not sure that if you break down the numbers, I'm sure it doesn't swing one way or the other in a major way. But I just feel like when you get a guy that doesn't ever bat versus a pitcher that bats all the time, you're throwing it, and you give the Dodgers a DH, who they don't usually have. So, it could get interesting. I think this goes 7 games.
I hope so. Baseball better hope it does. I think I kind of want to stray away from the actual game and just talk about how good this is for baseball. as a sport, they needed a World Series like this.
The only bad thing is the timing.
Yes.
Is because the West Coast and the East Coast
Yeah.
are, I mean, if the games are going to have to start at 4:30 and it's still going to be an 8 o'clock start in Boston.
Right.
And when they start at 8 in Boston, people are going to be just leaving work in LA.
Yeah.
So the timing is unfortunate. But
I think the only better matchup they could have is Red Sox-Yankees.
Yeah, and you can't get
and you
that
can,
in the
and
World
that's just
Series.
not possible.
I think like the Yankees-Cubs or the Red Sox-Cubs would be iconic, but the
Yeah.
Dodgers are the next closest thing. They're not on the tier of the Yankees or the Red Sox, I don't think, as far as fandom, but they are a historic franchise.
Right.
They've got a great stadium. They have rich history. But looking for that first title in 30 years, I think the Dodgers win this World Series.
I hope so. And for Clayton Kershaw's sake, I hope so.
Yeah, he deserves a title.
Yeah.
I hope it goes 7 games because Game 7 would be Halloween night in Fenway.
That would be awesome.
That would be quite the environment.
That would be insane.
Quite the environment. And I would say that, Kershaw, if you need him, he could probably, if they get to a Game 7, he could come out of the bullpen kind of like Bumgarner did against the Royals in 2014.
Yeah.
Come out of the pen and pitch 4 or 5 innings in a Game 7. And when you do that, you kind of lose all faith if you're the Red Sox. But,
yeah.
I mean, the Brewers, that was a fun series to watch. The Red Sox kind of had their way with the Astros. It wasn't as fun of a series to watch. Do you think the Astros bounce back next year, or this is they're kind of a run like the Royals had?
Yeah, that's a good question. Because baseball, I've always had trouble figuring out how good a champion really is. Because, the Cubs, a couple of years ago, they haven't really been good since. It kind of seems like the hangover in baseball lasts much longer than it does in football.
I don't know. Ask the Eagles.
Well, it's only been a year. It hasn't even been a year yet. They could make the playoffs and figure it out. And I'm not saying the Astros won't make the playoffs next year or anything like that, but I think it's hard to repeat after you kind of find that.
Yeah.
So I think they're going to be a really good team for a while, but I don't think we're going to see them in the World Series again for a while.
So you're taking the Red Sox.
Yep.
I'm taking the Dodgers.
I hope you're right.
Should be a fun series. First pitch is tomorrow night at 7:09. Chris Sale, probably Kershaw getting the ball.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching 101. We'll be back on Wednesday with OSU insider Robert Allen. Thank you guys for watching. Enjoy your homecoming week.
Determining your future by selecting a major can be difficult.
It's okay to be undecided.
Connect with the College of Arts and Sciences, where your options are endless.
Where you can uncover your passions and achieve your goals.
Express your creativity by exploring a career in the visual and performing arts.
Investigate new discoveries to make the world a better place with a career in science.
Advance knowledge, communicate progress, and contribute to a healthier planet with a career rooted in the social sciences.
Discover your career by looking at the world from different perspectives through the humanities.
Realize a better tomorrow through problem solving and mining data that can change lives.
Cast Prepares You to succeed through internships, study abroad, student-guided research projects, and service activities.
With 109 majors, 52 minors, and 24 departments, the only thing missing is you. College of Arts and Sciences.
Connect.
Achieve. Succeed.
When you have a team of physicians and nurses that really truly care about their patients, that translates into patient care.
It's a small practice, it's a small town. Everybody really takes that time to put the patient first.
Everybody cares what's happening to me and that I'm making progress and I'm gaining my freedom back and my mobility back. This patient is saying thank you.
This spring, I invite you to shop in downtown Stillwater. Downtown Stillwater is home to locally owned shops, boutiques, eateries, and dependable professionals that you can trust. Find the perfect gift for your graduate, have a delicious meal with mom, or just stop in to enjoy great spring savings. By creating a demand for local goods and services, you can ensure a place for the local businesses that help give our community character and keep it unique. On behalf of downtown Stillwater, thank you for shopping local.